Welcome back, everyone, to Myth, Magic, and Might, Episode 12. Last we left our heroes, the only friends, we. They had narrowly escaped from the city of Fogcliff by figuring out electromagnetic train propulsion, or Frida did. And as they did, they managed to inspire another rebellion within the city of Fogcliff against the Empire. And of course, our Captain Hayden relayed everything that they had learned about the terrible Davy Jones, who, as it turns out, was working for the father of one of their two husbands, Jace Avaris, the father being Hollow Avaris, a fiendish red dragon. And if Hayden were to probably pick, their arch nemesis, or at least one of them. I don't mean to speak for them, but I'd say that's pretty accurate. Later, as the crew was traveling down the rails, they came across a peculiar sight of people chasing after a thief riding a bear. Upon entering the situation, everyone found out that the bear was in fact the main or head conspirator behind this terrible plot of stealing a picnic basket. Upon a situation that the crew resolved, mostly thanks to Lana's cooking, though due in no small part to the athletic prowess of Rosalind, the charming charisma of Hayden, and the javelin throwing skill of Jolin. Upon calming down for a moment, Priscilla realized that they had been in this place before. And they had a flashback to a very pleasant memory of their father and mother. Memories which, unfortunately for Priscilla, turned very sad and very traumatic upon reflection of them. They briefly lost touch with where and when they were, but thankfully they were calmed down by quick intervention from their friends. And Lana, in an act of grace and comfort, prompted Priscilla to tell Lana what their favorite food was. And Priscilla asked for komarai, a very warm, very pleasant dish that you all enjoyed the night before. We pick up in the morning. All of you have had a long rest. The very first of you to wake up is Rosalind. Rosalind, you feel this, kind of tapping sensation at the bottom of your shoe.
I feel tapping at the bottom of my shoe.
Yeah.
Am I wearing shoes? What time of day is this?
I imagine you're when you're camping, I don't imagine you would take off your shoes to sleep.
Probably not. So I'm sleeping and I feel tapping. I half awake, half asleep. Say, hey, what are you doing with my foot? Stop it! And kind of shake my foot a little.
You look down and you see a small raven with a You see that this small raven has a package on its back in this like little holster, almost like a little backpack that it wears. And
Mm-hmm.
the raven bears the symbol of the rookery, a service that delivers mail all across the world of Geb. And this
As soon
raven,
as
it
I
looks.
recognize that it's a delivery from someone, I'll sit up, uh, pretty probably, uh, fast enough to scare any like typical birds. But I imagine these have been trained to not run away at slight, like fast
The
movement.
the raven says, "Ah, delivery for Rosalind," and you recognize that when it said Rosalind, it was a perfect mimicry of Leanne's voice. Your one of your four masters, Leanne, the water elemental.
Okay.
You know that ravens can mimic speech, so obviously
Yes.
this raven had your name spoken to it by Leanne.
Yes. Thank you. Is it customary to tip the bird?
It points to a little box on its chest that says tips.
I'll put 2 copper pieces in there.
It looks at
Uh,
you expectingly.
I'll take the 2 out and put in a silver then.
It opens up the backpack on its back and hands you a letter and a small package.
Okay. The 2 things. Let me take the silver out of my inventory, and then I'll say thank you, and then tear into the letter first.
You're welcome. And then it flies away.
Okay.
Count on the rookery for all your delivery needs. Rah! And all of you wake up at that particular sound, like when it did its ad read that it has to do. I'm contractually obligated.
Okay. What does this letter say? Sarah, have been excited to read this. And I'm sure Rosalind has been expecting.
It's a short
stuff.
note.
Okay.
But here it is. If you would like, you can read it out loud for everyone, for the sake of the audience. But it's your choice if you let the other members read it or not.
Dearest Rosalind, we hope this letter finds you in good health and great spirit. We've made it back home to the dojo safely, though Ilma claimed that we were nearly bored to death waiting for us slowpokes. That sounds just like her, right?
Oh yeah, she's your windmaster. She is very impatient in general.
The new trainees were slacking our absence, a mistake you're more than aware of the consequences. Yes. We've given our report to the Council of the Masters, but I regret to inform you that we've made very little headway on our investigation. The Masters are, of course, denying anything, but it's hard to tell if they're simply saving face or if they're truly innocent. My sisters and I have talked it over, and we feel it time to entrust this to you. Now more than ever, we need to stick close to those we can trust. Sincerely, Leanne. And then I will open up the package a little bit more carefully.
You gingerly open up this package, and you see what looks to be a scroll. But when you... do you open the scroll?
I would... Since that was a perfect voice mimic of my teacher's, and it sounds like the characteristic of the letter, I'll trust it and then carefully open it.
Okay. You on the front of the scroll, before you open it, you see that it is marked with the character for rhythm. And when you open the scroll, you see what looks to be like just beautiful calligraphic art. Like not exactly writing, but just like ink brush is what I meant. It's like this beautiful ink brush art that looks to be a torrent of waves rocking up and down. It's a beautiful piece of art. Like there's definitely some very intricate use of like negative space to imply wind in this really cool way. It looks really nice.
I does this look like anything that would remind me of the like the spiritual part of the training I've received?
As you kind of sit with this scroll, you begin to feel something. Make a wisdom check.
Wisdom check or wisdom save?
Wisdom check.
Okay, this is still pretty good. Wisdom check. No! It was almost good. It's an 8 total.
You feel that there is something. This is not a normal scroll. Certainly your masters would not go through the effort of just sending you wall art, especially not with the letter you were given. You have this feeling like it is something, but it's not something that you can use quite just yet.
Okay. Does it
almost like
have
you're theoretically one level too low?
Yeah. Oh, metagaming wise, me out of character, is this to teach me how to do Stunning Strike?
No, it's something better than that.
Better than Stunning Strike. I'll have to look.
Well, I mean, okay.
Significantly better.
Okay.
As the monk expert, it is significantly better. Even in its fixed form.
I'm totally blanking at what I get at level 5 besides Stunning Strike. I'll have
a
to.
D6. It's a custom thing. It's not your basic.
Yeah, it's a custom thing. It's not a basic class thing.
Okay. Then this is gonna.
So,
am I able to like sit and over the next few days just sit and meditate with it, see if I can get a better understanding on it over time?
Okay, I will let you know, because you have chosen very specifically to sit and meditate with it, which is the thing to do with it. You feel that he has been imbued into this object. You understand that, like, high-level practitioners of martial arts, like your masters, are capable of using their ki to communicate with other creatures, and without needing to understand their language. This scroll has information embedded into it, expressed not in words, but solely through the use of ki. Make a history check for me.
A history check, okay. I'm sort of decent at these. That's good. That's a dirty 20.
You remember stories of failed students from the dojo who were banished specifically for trying to break in to one of the master's secret place, one of your dojo's restricted areas, taking something and trying to meditate with it. Most of them, nothing really happened. You do remember one particular story of someone who attempted to meditate with a scroll like this, and they completely destroyed their ability to use ki ever. Like, they died not long after, according to rumor. Some say they're still alive, most say they're dead. What you know is that there is powerful information embedded in this scroll. What you have heard is something, you've heard the name whispered of secret techniques. things that are not allowed to be expressed in words. New ways to utilize ki that are beyond that are beyond normal monk abilities.
And do I get the feeling that this is one of them?
Yes. You know that your
Okay.
masters are this even this much requires a incredible amount of trust. They are trusting you
Yeah.
not to give this to other people. And also, you realize, of the ones they could potentially give, there are probably ones they have that have greater techniques than this. So it's, on the one hand, it's trust, and on the other hand, it's also a test. Like, they're trusting you with it, and they expect you to do well with it, and if you do, they might give you better scrolls with different techniques.
Cool. I'm gonna write this down in my characters notes section.
If you want, I can send you the item, but understand that you cannot, attune to it or use it until you're level 5. Or if you want it to be a surprise, then...
I want to be able to prepare... Sarah, want to be able to mentally prepare for it.
Okay, here it is.
So, yes, I would like that info. Thank you.
Breakfast tarts, everyone!
Oh, sounds delicious.
The bear lumbers awake. What did we name this bear again?
We didn't name him. He never gave us his name.
Oh.
I thought his name was Yogi.
No, we're not naming him Yogi.
I know we made a lot of bear puns. I will...
Barry.
The bear wakes up and is like...
Oh my word!
Yeah, I know, honey.
Oh.
Taylor insisted on making it a rare item and not higher, so...
Is this what he was collaborating with you on?
Yeah.
Oh, wow. Okay. I will go ahead and add this to the inventory, but not like
equip it.
Equip it.
Yes, because you must...
Oh my god! Oh!
Yes, you must... monks, I believe, need, need more magic items that work for them and for when they want to punch things, you know? So secret art scrolls. Take notes, any DMs listening. Secret art scrolls. It's a thing you can do. I made it. It's fun, I think. Stop being...
The later ability is really crazy.
Yeah, it is.
It's risky, but
there's a reason why it has such a big drawback.
Yeah.
Okay, with that,
never mind.
Who would like the mini quiches? I have 2 mini quiches.
I'll take one.
The bear.
They are good for a little bit of a pick-me-up, as a quick eat for the day. Bear, I have made you an entire pan-sized omelet. With jerky bits. I will give the bear his omelet. I did learn the bear's pronouns. I did not learn the bear's name, which is weird now that I think about it.
It's he's a bear. He doesn't have a name.
Do we get to... Can we name him, but just something other than Yogi?
He does not like the name Yogi. He will...
I am working on it. I just have to cast my spell. I'm going to cast Speak with Animals.
I would like to call him Boo Boo.
No.
and I would like to talk to the bear.
Ooh.
Hello.
Oh.
I learned that your pronouns are he, him, but I forgot to ask your name yesterday before my 10 minutes with you were up.
Oh, I don't have a name.
Did your mother not call you anything? Like no particular roar, sound, or whatever?
Oh, she said, You, come back. Stop trying to steal baskets.
Your
And
mother
that's what I did.
called you.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Resi. Especially because I'm a kitsune. What if we called you Yuna?
Yuna. What's that name mean?
I don't know.
Oh,
Hmm.
fun fact actually, Yona means bear in some Native American tongues. I believe it's Cherokee or something like that. Yona is the word for bear.
Oh, I like that. It's descriptive.
I said Yuna, but
Okay then. I don't really mind too much, so long as it's not Yogi or Boo Boo. Those names suck.
Just a pouting Minotaur in the background.
How would you even know to pout about that?
Alright. Yaoi, would you prefer that?
That seems a little weird.
Not call the bear Yowie.
No. Okay. Roll a persuasion check. If you want to name the bear Yowie. This is...
Yeah, Yuri is really good, actually. See, Rezi...
That's a natural
Yeah, okay.
motherfucking 20. Natural 20.
Dang it, Hayden!
Hayden rolled!
That's not even considering my +7.
You... Wait, Hayden's... Okay. Hayden somehow, despite being unable to communicate with the bear, has named... Roll... Hayden, what does this look like? You convincing the bear to take the name Yowie?
I'm just gonna walk up to the bear and just be like, hey, hi friend. Just to let you know, I'm gonna call you Yowie from now on.
He shrugs his shoulders, somehow understand. He turns to you, Lana, and says, I don't know how, but like, for some reason, this guy seems like really persuasive. I don't even know what they're saying.
They are perhaps one of the most charismatic men I know. They managed to pull 2 husbands, one of which is a dragon.
Oh, that's good for them.
And a really good cook.
I tried to eat a dragon once. It threw me out of the cave.
I'm surprised you survived.
Well, I was just a cub then. But like, he had a picnic basket, you know? So I was gonna take it, but then he threw me out.
No more stealing picnic baskets when you're with us. As we promised, I will keep you well fed.
Okay. But sometimes, can you put the food for me in a picnic basket so I can take it?
I will if we find a picnic basket that Priscilla doesn't burn.
Okay. She's very scary. But
I
also, I think she needs a hug.
I think she might want space right now.
Okay. This
no,
is a good omelet.
it's a very good omelet. I'm very talented. I think Hayden and Gialin should have these mini quiches.
Jialin like perks up at that. You see her ears like twitch, and then like she turns her head and she like goes from pouting to smiling.
You each now have a tiny quiche that will give you 2 temporary hit points as a bonus action.
This is fucking delicious. Thank you.
Well, I incorporated a technique that Jace uses in his flaky crust for pies, into the quiche crust, and I think the blending of our two styles turned out really well.
I think it did.
I imagine that Rosalind's probably has like tomatoes and bell peppers and maybe a little bit of like jerky or bacon or whatever, and maybe a little bit of cheese. And as I'm, it's based in spinach. That sounds really good.
Great. DM,
Yes.
can you remind me? I have an 1800 gold ring, golden ring. That's friggin' massive.
Yes, it is the size of a hula hoop.
What did I do with that again?
It's like, I guess the most logical place is that you put it on one of the train car that you're like hauling with all the like Empire's resources you stole. Or at least the most valuable ones. Like they had some lumber on the train as well in some of the other cars, but you know, you guys don't really need lumber in Autumn Hollow. You took all the like metal ingots and all those raw materials.
Right.
That like you couldn't. Yeah. There's also a crate of gold and a crate of some gems in there. They're kind of like smaller crates, but you know, resources.
Small crates filled with gems and gold can hold a lot of valuables.
We are going to be funding a very effective revolution here.
Yes. And our campaign slogan is "Magic is back!" or "Magic has returned!"
And we are the only friends.
The name. Hey guys, you know, want a chance to like name your whole party? You know, something that'll probably carry through the rest of the campaign? Yeah, Taylor, we want to be the only friends.
You mean to tell me that you, Mr. Disembodied Voice, don't like Priscilla's name that she came up with for us?
No.
Can I take a look over at Priscilla, see how well she's doing after what happened yesterday? I'm not gonna go talk to her. I just want to do like a quick insight from afar.
Now, you can see Priscilla's just kind of knees to her chest, just looking off in the distance. Not really observing or talking to anybody.
If Priscilla looks in my direction, I'll do one of the, you know, in the movies when someone's in a fighting ring and pinned and they hold up like a sideways thumb and go up or down on whether not to end them. I'll do that same motion but with a pleasant expression on my face to at least gauge where you're at.
I don't even look backwards. I'm focused on just dissociating into the horizon.
Okay, so you're not even looking towards everyone else. If you ever happen to do that, I'll do that quick little motion. But for the most part, I'll leave you alone because even though I have the skills to catch a javelin, I'd rather not have to do that again.
Priscilla, Where do you think your mind is as you're trying to stare at the horizon?
I think that I am focused on the only thing that I've been able to ever focus on, and I am scanning, waiting to see any potential sign that goblins are approaching. Trying very desperately hard to not focus on anything else.
If it were a windy day, you could distract yourself with the motion. If it were raining, you'd, double your efforts to keep an eye out in the lower visibility. But it's a calm, sunny day, and the only movement comes from animals that should be there, moving in the very predictable patterns of most animals. You do see a little bit of motion in the brush, but as the motion comes forward, it looks to just be a dandelion, and by a dandelion I mean a lion plant creature that's just walking through out of the woods into the sunlight, its little cubs beside it, and they just kind of lazily walk their way. You know that most plant-animal hybrids like this are pretty tame unless provoked, since they don't have to hunt for food the way predators do.
I think Lana will.
These are familiar to Rosalind, right?
Yeah.
I've seen these before.
Yeah, these are these creatures are native to Geb.
Okay, that's just double checking on that.
I think Lana will, in fox form, saunter over and sit down on hind legs, the way cats and dogs do, in front of or beside Priscilla, and sit for a while, just looking at the same horizon, enjoying the sunrise.
There hasn't been any movement.
It's weird because you haven't seen Lana talk as a fox yet, but she speaks. Thank you for watching our back. It may not be right now, but I would like you to trust that we are watching yours. Not only the peripheral, but also your past. You don't have to be on alert alone.
I know you to say. This is the one thing that I'm good at. So I'm going to keep doing that.
I wouldn't ask you to stop.
I'm going to do my perimeter sweeps. You should go check in on everyone else.
Okay.
I'm going to stand up and sort of twirl the magnetic, my new magnetic javelin in my hands, and I'm going to do a full quarter mile around the site that we are currently camping at, doing a whole perimeter sweep, looking for tracks, any kind of disturbances, anything at all. And I am taking my time doing it.
You do so.
Let me give you an investigation check or anything?
Yes, go ahead.
That's an 8.
The only creatures really of note is the dandelion and its cubs that just walked past. You know that normally they're only in very, deep forested areas, and the fact that it's, kind of so close to a town suggests that, it was probably pushed out of its environment, and when you look off further and further into the distance, you can't quite make it out, but you do see the kind of outline of what you might suggest would be Empire buildings or factories. And as much as you're trying to look for tracks of goblins and animals and other things like that, you can't keep your mind from drifting to the predator that's going to encroach on this territory. That's going to drive innocent creatures like this further and further away from the places they used to call home. But as you look at this proud father and its little cub, they look like they're going to be, they look to be smiling at each other. I mean, as much as animals really smile at each other. You see the cub kind of like weave back and forth through the legs of its parent. They rub their faces and against each other.
I'm gonna walk up to the dandelions. Hello.
Hey. Hello, little one.
My name is Lana. I've never seen you before, or anything like you. You are beautiful.
Oh. Thank you, small one. Strange. What is it, Papa? It's just... I have not seen a fairy fox for some time. Oh, Papa, a fairy fox? For real? Yes, my child. Fairy foxes are quite rare. You see that the lion, he lowers his tail up to his face. They kind of use their paw to pick off a single little spore, which you know to them is more like hair than anything else. And it it rolls it to you, and it offers it to you, and the little lion cub tries to do the same, but it doesn't have any spores yet, so it like breaks off a little leaf and tries to give it to you.
I will nibs them.
Yes. And they bow to you graciously. So that means we're gonna have good luck now, right, Papa? Yes. To give a gift to a fairy fox means you will have good luck. Yay! Aw, man. Does that mean we're gonna find like an extra sunny spot today? Who knows? We'll have to keep looking. Okay. But... don't run off. We have to give a proper farewell. Oh, okay. Thank you, fairy fox lady, for the good luck. And they bow.
May the light of the dawn mistress shine upon you.
Oh, Papa, they know big words. Yes, they do, my child. Yes, they do. And they bow to you graciously. And they walk away. Unless there was anything specific you wanted to ask them.
No, I'm just being friendly to literally everything.
Yes.
I will return to camp and shift back into the humanoid form. Alright, where to next? Are we straight to Autumn Hollow, or what is the plan of action?
Hey, DM, where are we exactly?
You are. Let me pull up the map. It's the map.
Just trying to get a good gauge on how much further we have to travel before we get back to Autumn Hollow.
Okay, so waiting for the map to load. You are still on your way to the city of Zestern. If you were to pull up the map, I would say you're on the dotted line right above the E. You're like a half day to the city of Zestern, and then once you get there, you can charter. You can charter a boat back. That's where you're going to drop off your supplies, and then you'll have to get kind of back to the shore and charter a boat back to Williamstown, and then from there you'll make your way back to Autumn Hollow.
Cool.
Alright, yeah, that's right. We're supposed to meet someone with a boat down there, aren't we?
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Alright. I will leave it to the group to do things.
Ugh. Sorry.
If y'all want, we can kind of fast travel to when you get into Autumn Hollow. If there was anything, you wanted to like do when you got
Somewhere
to
on
Autumn
the
Hollow.
way, I just wanted to do one little quick conversation as we're traveling.
Okay. And as you're traveling, conversation with.
Jialin, of course.
Hello, that's me.
Yes. Did you see what I put in MMM chat?
I did.
Doc? Okay. So you recognize her body language. She's a little nervous. And as we're riding in the train car, I'll just do a quick little side head nod, trying to beckon you to a slightly more secluded corner so we're not overheard.
She'll take the cue and come sit with you.
So, sorry, I'm. This is very new territory.
That's all right. I
Yeah,
understand how that goes.
but I realized that I stumbled over my words and said some things that I probably shouldn't have, and I've had some time to think about what I said and make a decision and everything. And I realized it's really super unfair to you for me to maybe I was giving you like an ultimatum, and I don't really want to do anything like that. So, and I realized that between you and Robin, that I can't split my focus between two different things. So, he'll have to find someone else. If that is something that he wants to do.
She just kind of smiles softly and like pats Rosalind's shoulder. I was fine with whatever you needed to do, but I appreciate being the chosen one.
Oh my word.
She just kind of smirks.
Hopefully you don't turn dark.
No. I'm pretty sure I'm stuck orange forever. Or until I get old, and then I'll probably turn gray.
Okay, another personal question. If you don't mind me asking, how old are you? Like, where are you in terms of like your lifespan range?
I'm probably... How out of character. How long do Minotaurs typically live? Taylor?
Let me look that up real quick.
I feel like it's 120 years, but I don't know
Yeah,
if I'm like...
something around there. I'll double check.
But they are like fully mature at 16 or something like that.
Yeah, I believe that was it.
She shrugs a little. I'm not sure how to compare it to... Rosalind's a human, right?
No.
As far as you know.
Lazimar.
Well,
Right.
I'm human looking, but actually you wouldn't know that. Well, you might be able to tell because of that fun combat thing we did, that I shrugged off the radiant damage more than you would expect.
Yeah. She's not sure how much of that is magic and how much of it is racial. I also don't imagine she's very familiar with your specific race.
Yeah.
No, they would be extremely rare at this point in time.
So she just like, I'm not really sure the math on the comparison between Minotaur and human ages, but I've been considered, and she does air quotes, fully grown for a good almost decade. I'm 23.
Okay. So you are. You're still a little bit behind. Well, proportionately, we're about in the same place, I think. So we're in the same like stages of life.
She like nods a little,
Yeah.
in that sense of like that checks out.
So you're not like super young like Frida and Priscilla are.
Nah,
That's
I've been around a little while.
Okay, so have I. I just wanted to make sure I wasn't dating someone who was barely past childhood.
That's fair.
Yeah. That is good to know.
I guess I kind of assumed all of us were of a relatively similar age, or at least adult.
Hayden seems like pretty close to where I am in terms of like age, but I don't know much about Lana.
That makes two of us.
Yeah, I think that makes most of us. But that's okay. Maybe we'll get to know her better over time. But
Probably.
just so you are aware, I am 38.
She like seems to think about that for a second, because 38 is definitely not equivalent to 23 as far as she's concerned, because she's like,
You're like, that math ain't mathing.
yeah, she's the gif of the lady with the math equations.
Yeah. Like, we've been like fully mature adults for like and considered like quote responsible for like 10 to 15 you for probably 10 years, me between 15 to 20 years, so it's not that far off. But we're not like fresh young adults like an 18 to 22-year-old kid.
Trust your math better than my own math right now.
Yeah, you can trust Sarah's math. I don't know about Rosalind's.
Jalen has like I think intelligence was my dump stat. And I had some pretty bad rolls.
Yeah. Rosalind has like a higher than average intelligence, but she's definitely focused on other aspects of herself to get them higher and better.
Okay.
Obviously, but that's what I
so
wanted to talk about.
all right. So it is at this point in your conversation that both of you look up and find, and once again, the group finds itself at the comfortable town of Autumn Hollow. You, on your way here, you passed some of the like farmers in the field who were, gathering up the last of the harvest. And some of you saw like some of them send their children to go off ahead and tell the town like they're coming here, they're on their way back. When you get to town, there is a group of the townsfolk kind of gathered in the square, and they are actually practicing drills. It looks like spear wielding military drills. You see that like kind of at the front of the pack are Chris and Scully, the buff gym were-rat halflings who were running the obstacle course back in the first episode of Autumn Hollow. These two buff halflings with their with like big goofy rat teeth, who are like, "Yeah, come on, thrust and thrust. You gotta learn to thrust. Yeah, you gotta keep thrusting." I
Are we
I
gonna put that in
ruined that.
quote?
Taylor, did you know what you were doing, or did it
no,
occur to
no,
you
not until I said it. Not until I said it out loud. Not until I said it out loud. Then
Hey,
it's like, oh
you
no.
you know the clip command, Riley. You know
No.
the clip.
Oh, okay.
You did this to yourself, my friend.
This is being recorded. I can't. And also,
You can't unsay that. Is the I'm actually surprised. Speaking of, Riley showed restraint yesterday. I even gave her permission to clip something that I said, and she didn't do it. Something about about Izel making her own snowballs.
like I was thinking, what weapon would a townsfolk be learning to use that's simple and effective? I'm like, spears. Gosh, I did not think that through. Can we start over? Can we just start over the entire campaign?
Too late. It's too late.
No.
Listen.
And also, sorry, there was one other. Sorry to get distracted, but there was one other character. There is a tall, lion folk with a breastplate. You guys know this person to be, Gallon. I'll copy and paste their name into chat. Their name is Gallon Scour. They are the head of the town guard. And they are a lion folk man. With kind of the only like decent armor and weapons outside of like Ryder. What are you trying to do sneakily, Rosalind?
Sorry. Hold Y'allin's hand.
Oh, okay. Sorry.
She said that she wanted to roll insight to see if it was okay to hold Jialin's hand, and I'm like, Jialin's not gonna stop her. And she's like, I'd like to roll sleight of hand for that, and everybody's like, it's fine.
She's trying to be like
Okay.
keep it, casual on the down low, try not to make a big deal about it to everyone else.
Rosalind that. Also Rosalind choosing to date Jialin of all of the people in the party.
Why? Okay. So, someone has apparently, okay.
Yeah.
That's me just joking around. You don't have to use that.
Yeah, yes. Okay. So, Lana, what were you going to say before I interrupted you? I'm so sorry.
I was gonna go up to the group of people training with pikes and spears.
Mm-hmm.
And now I forgot how I was gonna phrase this.
The phrasing is very important. Learn from my mistakes.
The phrasing is
Learn
very
from my
important.
mistakes.
Dang it. It's gone. The moment is gone. So we'll just move on. There's gonna be something like, no, you're not. You don't want to be thrusting. You're supposed to plunge. But
that's not any better.
I know it's not any better. The point was to not be better.
Faster.
Oh.
Faster. We gotta.
Priscilla's going to head over and just kind of offer some help and instruction, given that she is a polearm mastery.
Lunge and follow through.
Okay. You hear that, everyone? Form up. Form ranks. And lunge.
And if you get good enough at lunging, then you can potentially derail a train. And then I'm gonna walk away.
Certainly something got derailed. Okay. Oh, so now that we are all back in town, and you guys have seen that the town folk are actually Gallon comes up to the lot of you and says, thanks for sorry. Sorry, can I start over? I always say the wrong word first. What I mean to say is, it's so good to see all of you again. Lot of recruits for the town guard. He does like big air quotes, and all of you know that like he's training soldiers for the rebellion. Yeah, so many more volunteers after you guys inspired everyone. Just doing their civic duty. You seem like he's talking to kind of all of you, and you can tell that like Gallon is not super good at like keeping a secret or being on the down low as a person.
Right. Well, we have more resources that were skillfully acquired to support the civic duties of the townspeople of Autumn Hollow.
Oh, for real?
For real.
Nice. Man, I should go tell Jason about that, you know, because he was the one who was like, "We need more resources." He's a cool guy, you know. He works hard in the shop. And
Have you tried asking him out then?
I
What?
was just about to say, is that a
What?
crush I hear?
What? No. He jumps into the town's fountain.
I would like to, before he jumps into the fountain, I would like to cast heroism on him. You've got 1 minute. March down there right now. You've got this.
I got this. I suddenly feel like I got this. And he goes running off.
And
Abandons
like
the
as
wagon.
he's passing Jialin, she goes, "Just remember, it's me you have to answer to if you hurt him."
Hey, I don't know why that is, but I agree. And
Look
he
at-
runs off.
Heroism, the best matchmaker.
He definitely is going to be real subtle and cool about it.
He is not, and it's gonna be cute. Because he has no fear.
No fear. He's 90s slogan on a t-shirt. Oh gosh. So, gosh. Oh. So, now that y'all are back in town, is there anything in particular that any of you wanted to do before we is there anything any of y'all wanted in particular to do? Let's see. Let's start with, as we're trying to be gracious to certain members, Jolin and Hayden. Is there anything in particular that you two wanted to do before while you're in town, I mean?
I'm just kind of going with what everything else is. I'm still reeling over recent pieces of information, but I trust my fellow only friends enough to keep things moving in the direction that we need it to.
As you're kind of just standing in the middle of a town, Hayden, you see that like there are a few of the like town kids who kind of like look at you, and they they kind of whisper to themselves like, "Oh man, that's one of the heroes." And you hear one of them say like, "Oh yeah, the hot one. Right, he is dreamy." and they're just like little kids, talking about stuff like that.
I'm gonna rapidly blink a few times, like, You know what? I'm gonna let it go. It's fine. It's whatever. I'm gonna turn to Jialin. Hey, what were we gonna be doing next? Because I kind of spaced out a bit the whole way here.
I don't think we had much of a plan after the whole train derailment business.
Okay.
I would, if you want, you can roll intelligence checks to try to remember stuff that was discussed.
Yeah, I'm gonna do that.
Intelligence check.
Just straight intelligence?
Mm-hmm.
It's gonna
Yeah,
be
probably not, because that's a 7.
I got a 13.
Hayden, you did briefly remember that Jason talked about, another potential thing to help all of you get ready for this, rebellion was that you could try to make an alliance with the dwarves that live to the north of Autumn Hollow in the Ironheart Mountains. Because you know that the 7 dwarven... actually, I think that's kind of the extent of what you know. You know that these dwarves are also rebelling against the Empire. But that would be like a whole trek. So it would basically be like, if you wanted to do that, it would be your next big mission.
If I'm remembering correctly, and I'm looking at the map correctly, the entrance to those mountains is decently close to Rosalind's hometown and where she knows the other of another magical dungeon entrances, right? Those are all within like a couple days travel.
Yeah, they are. Each square is like 100 miles. So yeah, they're not super close to each other, but they're not super far either. Rosalind, you would know that there is an Imperial stronghold, basically to like the north of Rockman. So
Yes.
you do know
Then
you would
I
have to be
didn't
careful
find
going
that-
through there, but it is possible.
Canonically, Rosalind has been inside that fort once before.
Yep,
Yep.
you got arrested as a teenager.
Yeah, because I tried to moon some Empire soldiers on Empire Day and got caught.
I love that so much.
She was already being a menace because she didn't like how the Empire took over her town when she was 12.
Mm-hmm. So Hayden, that's what you remember of that conversation. Jalin, you remember that dwarves live in mountains sometimes, but also other places. You know this is important.
Dwarves.
You know this is important.
Yeah, she goes, wait. Something to do with dwarves. I don't remember. We'll reconvene on that whole topic soon, I imagine, because I feel like staying in one place for long periods of time is probably not wise anymore. Which reminds me, do you think we'll be able to go back to Fogcliff anytime soon?
Oh, probably not.
Great. Cool.
Did we need to go back?
I was curious about something there, but if it's not an option, I guess that is what it is.
How soon do you want to go back? I mean, it'll probably change for us once we overthrow the Empire.
Yeah.
Or get things going.
I imagine that's true. Just, it was there. It might be on the way to some place that we need to go. But it's something that can wait.
Okay, we can still try to plan to work that back in. Actually, speaking of planning things, and I'm going to turn and look at the rest of the party. Should we regroup, discuss our next steps? Because it sounds like there's a lot that we need to sort out, our priorities. Should we head back to Ryder's?
We could probably check in on the progress that Gil and Jason are making on your ship, Captain.
And other things.
Yes. Because in addition to recruiting more allies to this civil statement, I think we also should remember that our particular contribution is not only in rallying individuals, but giving them the means to fight back against the iron struggle of this corruptive empire by opening the dungeons and bringing magic back into the world.
Honestly, that part should probably be our biggest priority, the freighting the magic. I suppose that would make the rest of it easier.
I think we have a lot less to go on in terms of finding the dungeons, so we are hoping to mostly deal with those on the way of doing these other tasks, but when we encounter them, they should take precedent, is my suggestion. And we should, everywhere we go, be on the lookout and listen for rumors and whispers, as it were.
Brilliant idea, as always.
Just point where I need to smash things.
I will hopefully give you plenty of productive things to smash.
Sounds great.
Insert sex joke here. Can we go back to Riders in the pumpkin patch? I guess, unless Priscilla or
yeah.
Rosalind need to do thing.
Okay.
I'm doing my things off screen. I need to write out and send the DM some letters that Rosalind would be writing.
Okay.
So I'm just gonna be going on with the party for a little bit, and then, hey, I need to stop and write some letters. So maybe I can do that at Ryder's house when we get there if we're heading that direction. Or if you just want to leave me for a little bit, I'll catch up with you guys later.
All right.
I think it may be unwise for any of us to be alone at any given moment, so I will go with you.
Okay. Let's head to the tavern. I'll sit down at a table, pull out some paper and ink, and start writing some letters.
Okay. So, I will actually say, to progress this part of the story, that, you guys dropped your supplies off to Raven and his, merry band of new crewmates. And, he, with his boat, has actually made it to town, a little before you guys. And thus, so, you, Hayden, as you approach, Ryder's old house, you find that, strangely enough, the house is still burned down, meaning that Ryder has not spent any money in trying to rebuild it so far. Jalen was... you find that, yes, that Ryder's house has not been rebuilt. Before we get to that scene, Jalen, did you want to run a scene with Jason?
We can. Jialan would have separated with Rosalind just because, like, we are probably presumably wanted by the Empire, so being by ourselves is probably not a good idea. Which was her thought for splitting off with Rosalind, so only if Rosalind is interested in doing that as well.
I am fine going with you to go see Jason. The letters are not super important. I just want to get to them before we leave Autumn Hollow again.
Oh, yeah, we can definitely make time for that. I don't mind waiting for you to finish before we go.
No. Sarah, need to type these out, and it's going to take me a minute to think about them. So let's go ahead and do the actual role-playing first, and then I can be, like, absentmindedly listening while I'm writing these letters.
That works for me.
Yeah.
All right, let's go see Jason then.
Yeah, good idea.
Okay. Sorry for the sudden scene jump, but I just want to cater to the players that are gonna sign off soon. So
I appreciate it. Thank you.
you head over to Jason's, and you see Galen, the lion folk that you just met, sadly walking away from the secret store that you guys have made for him. And Galen appears to be looking down very sadly.
She would like to pat him on the shoulder. Sorry
He
about
said
your
he-
luck, Fred.
He said he'd think about it. What does that mean?
That means that he just needs some time to think about it.
But what if he doesn't?
He will. He's got to
He
give
just
you an
walks
answer
away,
at some point.
kind of crying and lumbering away.
I'll put like the side of his arm and be like, "Hey, just think about it this way. If he didn't consider it an option at all, he would have just said no. At least he's being considerate and taking time to figure out how he feels. That's a great sign of maturity. You should be proud of him for that."
Okay.
Would you like a hug?
Yes.
Okay, can I roll for hug?
Yeah, roll for hug.
What is that? Remind me.
Charisma, I think, is hug.
Give me just a second. Let me get my character sheet pulled back up. A charisma check.
Yeah.
Okay. That's my lowest stat. Can it be dexterity?
No.
Okay, fine.
Can I give her help by
Okay,
smushing them together
Okay.
in a third
Give her
hug?
the help. Give her the help
Okay.
action.
Group hug.
Okay. I'll go with that first roll. It's a 13 total.
Okay. He feels comforted by the hug, but he's still gonna go sulk about it for a little bit. You know, he kind of needs to get this out of his system.
Fair enough.
Okay, so you guys, you enter Jason's shop, and he immediately looks up from his work. Jason, you know, is this squat, half or quarter dwarf. He said he was, with this bushy brown hair that's really thick that he has kind of tied behind him. He has this leather working apron on, and thick working gloves as he's hammering out this piece of metal in his hand, and he kind of looks up. Oh, hey, hi. Jalen, you're back.
Just a quick question, just for like my mental image. How tall is he? Is he like 3.5, 4 feet tall, or how tall is he?
I'll say 4'4".
Okay, so tall, bigger than Corinne. That good.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah,
Okay.
he's 4'4".
He's a foot
Hey.
taller than Corinne. He's okay. I can picture that.
Okay. Okay.
Perfect. Thank you.
How are you doing, Jolin?
I'm doing pretty alright. How about you?
Well, honestly, being the only blacksmith in a town that's gearing up for war is pretty tough, but at least that means I'm, got no shortage of work.
Would
I
you?
bet.
Sorry. Go ahead.
I bet. It was just I bet.
That reminds me. This, I just finished it yesterday. He opens up this, trunk that he has, and he pulls out this beautiful, gleaming, great axe that he gingerly presents to you.
My inner clack is coming out right now, and Gialin does slight tippy taps.
Which shake the whole store. It does shake the whole store.
She's just like, she gets the wiggle fingers. I would like to see it.
He presents it to you, and it looks like he's kind of waiting for you to pick it up.
She does, absolutely. She does so very carefully, and gives it a good look over.
It's beautifully made. There's this intricate kind of dwarven pattern made into the sort of handle leading up to the blade axe, reminiscent of sort of architecture and actually not too dissimilar in a sense to the architecture of the temple that you grew up in, but you think that that's mostly a coincidence of being like a temple carved in the stone of the mountain. And you see these intricate flame patterns woven into the metal of the axe head itself.
You can't really see it because hair, but she's tearing up a little.
Any...
Hey, Jason, I do have a question for you. Would you be interested in having someone, another blacksmith come in to give you a bit of a second set of hands? Or
I mean, that would be great,
apprentice?
among other things.
Okay. If I find anybody that'd be willing to travel here and work with you, I'll definitely send them this way then.
He's already thinking about an offer for an extra set of hands.
Yeah, I am.
Oh. So 10 out of 10. 10 out of 10
It came
jokes.
out of nowhere and it was great. Thanks.
So, Jialin, as he turns back to you and he looks at the axe, he says, "What do you think?"
Thank you. She's like petting it.
Is this the first time I've seen John like this emotional about something?
Absolutely, yes.
Okay. Okay.
As he sees you inspecting it and approve of it, there's like a single tear that wells up in his eye that he quickly wipes away and pretends was never there, obviously. I'm glad you appreciate my work. Just let me know when or if your group decides to head out to the Dwarven Fortress. Or to the Dwarven City in the Ironheart Mountains. I know the way there. I was trying to be modest before, but I know I'll find the entrance.
That would be amazing. Thank you for the assistance. And we'll definitely work on getting you an extra set of hands.
Yeah.
Maybe we'll find somebody when we get there.
Hopefully, or at the very least some other allies. It would be, great to have more help in this. I support it for sure, but it's not an easy thing to take on the Empire, even out here in the boonies.
No, definitely not. We'll make it work. I think we'll win this. There's enough of us with real heart. I wish you could have seen what happened in Fog Cliff when we were there. It
What
was
happened?
impressive. After we took down the train, it obviously caused a lot of
You took down the whole
commotion.
train?
Yeah, we had to. For reasons. We were under attack by other people, I guess. I don't know, it was messy. There was a lot of shit going on. And Priscilla jumped in front of the train, and
You
we had
jumped in front of the train? Is she okay?
well, okay is a relative term. She isn't physically harmed. She's
Oh,
physically
okay.
fine. Physically fine. Yeah, so we stopped the train with a little bit of force because it's really hard to like convince a train to stop on its own.
Yeah, I would venture that to be basically impossible.
I'm starting to question what is possible and what is not possible at this point. But anyways, yeah. So after we did that whole thing, it drew a lot of attention. People were curious, and Lana made a phenomenal speech about fighting the Empire, getting back magic and our freedom, and all of the people that were there, which was a lot of people, they got really into it, and like it started a little bit of a skirmish, and the people had it in the bag. I'm pretty sure because there weren't a lot of Empire people there, but it was good. They got the heart.
Yeah, I hope they have more than just heart. I mean, heart's great and all, but it doesn't protect you from bullets.
No, but they know that magic is
But
back.
it's a start, and that's frankly more than most of us have had for 100 years.
It's true.
Yeah. Did you see that guy who came in here? He just all of a sudden burst in and was like, do you want to go on a date with me? We can pick out wedding cakes. I mean, not wedding cakes, different kinds of cakes. He said that. He said that immediately on walking in here.
Giallo just kind of like, so for a person whose face is half obscured most of the time, it's still pretty easy to read a deadpan expression when he says that. And she's like, yeah, so he, his name is Gallon, and
Oh, like the head of the town guard?
maybe? I think so. He was training a bunch of people to thrust their spears earlier.
Okay.
I don't. Yeah. So I mean that checks out logically. Yeah, he's a little something or other. If he gives you a hard time, let me know.
I mean, he's cute, I guess, but I just seemed weird. Like,
Yeah, That is
It's
very
like
weird.
it's like no inhibitions at all, and then suddenly he was apprehensive, like
Oh,
some kind of timer went off, and then he was like, "No, I meant different kinds of cake."
did I
And then
know? Did I know that like that was magic that was cast on him?
you saw Lana cast a spell on him that made him suddenly fearless, and then
Look,
apparently
being fearless is not the same as having no inhibitions. It means that you're not scared or frightened. It doesn't mean that you go around being like, I think it's a good idea to ask this person to start shopping for wedding cakes.
She's just like, he may have been slightly magically coerced.
Oh, I suppose I can give him some amount of grace then.
I'm not sure if coerced is the correct term.
We
More
did
than,
yank him out of a fountain, and Lana did put some kind of something on him, and then he ran. That was pretty coercive.
Well, in any case, I mean, he didn't seem to regret. Never mind. I don't think it was that bad. I think he just he seems like a very passionate and excitable person, and he maybe got swept up in his own mind for a second there, and then as soon as he said it out loud, he was like, "Oh, I shouldn't have said this part out loud," you know? Like
Jialan just kind of like blanks for a second because she doesn't know what that feels like.
not yet, at least.
right. Oh. So
Priscilla.
yeah, I'll oh, I need to put this back in the kiln. Any kind of rushes back to like put the piece of metal he was working on back in the fire to heat it up. You're free to stick around if you want. Don't but I'll probably be busy working.
Of course, no worries. Thanks again. Seriously, on a more genuine level. I mean, it was genuine the first time, but like, you know, I appreciate it. And we'll let you know when we're getting ready to head out.
Thank you. Honestly, working like this, it means a lot to me to be doing work that I'm actually proud of. Not that I was against being a sellsword before, it's not what I wanted to be, you know?
I do. She smiles. That is a feeling she does understand.
And he very calmly and studiously goes back to his work, and you can see that there's almost this like meditative or almost zen-like dedication and technique that he forges with that's interesting to see.
Think she'll watch for a minute just to like, she's happy that he's doing something that he loves doing, because that's what she wanted for him in this whole endeavor to begin with. And so she's glad that like that has been achieved. And then she looks to Rosalind. Well, my business is concluded. Is there anything you need to do?
While we're here in town, I wanted to say hi to number one, Frida's dad. He is also a coworker of mine. See how the magic side of training is coming along, and also just to say hi to the Rosalind would know the name of the doctor that was treating her for 6 months after her cave-in, but Sarah does not.
Yes, Joanne Hopper was her name. I made it up literally 5 minutes ago.
Joanne Hopper. I would if she still
John
has
Hopkins.
on Apollo.
What?
Joanne Hopkins?
Joanne
Jo-
Hopper.
Joan Hopper.
Joan Hopper, as opposed to John Hopkins? As in, like, of the hospital?
I thought it was the first name that came to my mind, okay?
It's great.
It's
support
fantastic. It's not a criticism. That's just a. I see a gay recognizes gay moment.
Dave does recognize gay
Okay.
quite often.
And Rosalind would know, is she like a traveling doctor or does she live in Autumn Hollow?
She lives in Autumn Hollow during the summer, she says. You do know that it's the first month of winter, or the first month of autumn now in the calendar. She might, like, you would have to check if she might have moved to, like, wherever her summer home is.
Her autumn home?
Her autumn home.
Okay. I'll go at least check by, is it like an office or a house or wherever I would presume she'd be. If she's there, I'll say hi, again, thank her for her treatment, and I've improved a lot thanks to her treatment. And if not, then no biggie.
Yeah, you do kind of see her on her way out. Like she has her bags packed. She's a very tall woman, about 6.5 feet tall. She's very long and lanky. She has very long legs. She is a grasshopper woman. So she has these like large insectoid legs, and her eyes are more in a humanoid shape, but they are like completely pitch black.
But I will say everything that I said before, thanking her, and that what she did really saved me, and I've been able to really focus on my physicality and everything, and I'm excited about that.
Oh,
and then
glad to see that you're healing so well.
You're welcome. I'm really happy. Thank you so much.
Yeah. But honestly, I'm glad to get back to my my autumn home, in the fall.
Yeah. If we're I imagine Autumn Hollow is going to be sort of like a home base for us because that's where we all met, and it's a good meeting place, so maybe we'll see you next summer.
Yeah, maybe.
Oh, I'm asking, where is your autumn home? We will be traveling a lot, so.
Summer Glen.
Okay, I'll need to find that on the map later.
I literally just made it up.
Oh.
Summer Glen.
I suppose that you take your winters in Springdale and your springs in Winter Valley.
I never go to Winter Valley. Always too cold.
But as she's walking out the door, I didn't want to keep her for too long. And then Frida's dad.
Okay,
before we do that, if Frida wanted to come with us so she could say hi to her dad, then she's welcome to come along too.
I think that Frida, as soon as she got back, she like immediately went to go talk to her dad.
Okay. So we'll probably see her there. I'll wait till he's not busy.
Okay. You'll see, he has about 3 new students, so he has a total of, he has a total of 10 now, 10 students in the arts of magic. Very basic cantrip stuff, but, they're coming along.
It's better than nothing, because there was nothing for so long.
Yeah. He reports that he has not been able to use any magic yet. He personally.
I'll put it arm on his shoulder, because that's probably a source of slight sadness for him. It's like, your time will come. I'm sure of it.
Well, personally, I've taken to thinking of it as an act of fate. It'll come when it will, or it won't, and right now I think I'm in my place.
Not to be rude, but Sarah is thinking in her head, those who can't do teach. But I would not say that aloud.
That's his exact situation.
I would not say that aloud, though, because that is rude. But,
make a deception check. He's gonna insight you.
Deception?
Yep.
Okay, not bad. That's an 11.
Can I?
He only got a 5. He didn't see.
Okay, never mind.
Okay.
Okay.
I'm happy to see that you're in a place where your skills are being utilized. Are there any of your students that are looking like more promising than the rest, or are they all about the same level at this point?
Well, I don't mean to show favoritism towards my other children, but Frida's younger brother and one of their other siblings, I need to name those eventually, have been making stunning progress.
They've got a great teacher.
Yes.
Stunning progress, so does that mean they've learned Hold Person already?
Okay. Well, I mean, that's a paralyzing spell, but...
I'm just in a quippy mood today. First all the meme dump, and now I'm doing jokes. It's like I think I'm funny or something.
You are
funny.
But yes, he yeah, they've basically learned cantrip level, all of his students. They're more or less the same.
Okay, cool. I would like to are you needing help in terms of like monetary resources or anything like that?
Oh no. I'm a very wealthy novelist.
Okay. So Rosalind has a ring of water walking. Does she know that it's a magical ring, and does she know what it does and everything?
Yeah, you know.
Okay, never mind then. Because if she didn't know, she might have asked him about it. But if she already knows, then never mind.
Let's see. Miss Rosalind, I hope you don't mind my saying so, but, let me see, let me get, Forrest Strikefoot was... We at the, Arcanus Archive were all dreadfully sad to hear of his loss. I know we don't mourn him as deeply as you do, but we do all mourn him. He was a valued colleague, as are you.
Thank you, I appreciate that. Anybody who's paying attention and has like a passive insight above like 5 can tell that her shoulders kind of slump a little bit as she thinks, and she sighs really heavily, and there's like tears on the verge of her eyes. Yeah, I really miss him, but speaking of Professor Trikefoot.
Yes?
His granddaughter, Alicia, was also there. I managed to barely save her, almost costing me my own. But she seems to be doing partially okay. She's living with my older brother and his wife and their son and daughter.
Well, we can be thankful for small miracles.
Yeah. I'm grateful for him for taking her in, because otherwise Alicia wouldn't have had anybody really to take care of her.
Yeah, for whatever Forrest said about his son and daughter-in-law were pretty awful in general. If even half the stuff was true, I feel very sorry for that poor girl.
I'm glad I'm glad that she was able to get into a good situation first with her grandpa, and now with someone who I know will take good care of her. I trust my brother to look after her well.
He looks like he goes to say something, and then the schoolhouse that he has been teaching out of suddenly catches fire. He's like, "Oh, I gotta go take care of that. Bye."
Okay, bye. Do you need help with that?
No, I got it. Actually, if you could grab that bucket in the well and start bailing water, I would be very helpful.
Okay. If it seems like they've got it in hand and this is just par for the course for them, then I will head on my way and let him take care of that.
Okay, you head on your way, and we turn back to Aiden, Lana, and Priscilla. This is after the drills you ran through with the town guard. You're back at Ryder's house, and the three of you find that Ryder has not yet begun the process of rebuilding his house. It still leaves. It's still in this like kind of flaming wreck. But you turn to Hayden's ship, on the other hand, and in contrast, it is much improved. Your main crew members are Robin, the master shipwright, a man of the Forearm tribe with tan skin and silver hair, who is kind of overseeing the work of the others, namely Aaron Tidewalker. He is, the sailor that you guys had for a while, a merfolk man with teal hair. Niall Rivers, a old crocodile man who loves fruit punch and was a pirate. Lost one of his hands and is fairly slow, but he seems to be carrying a lot of weight to make up for it. And finally, Mary Beckwith. She is the half-orc woman. Hayden remembers that she was very shy, and also on the particular day you were going to interview her, she didn't show up, and when you went to her house to talk about her, it turns out that she just had one of those days where she wasn't feeling it, and she was sorry, but now she's here, and she's putting in the work, and she's doing pretty well. Like, they almost have your ship completely put together. It looks like another day or so, and they will be completely done fixing your ship. It's even, like, cleaned and polished. Like, it looks better than it has in years.
This is minus, of course, the, like, magical bits.
Yeah, as you approach Robin, he explains, hail to you, Captain.
Hail to you, Master Shipwright. I must say, I I knew you were good, but I didn't expect so much progress so soon.
Honestly, it's a beautiful ship, and while it was pretty wrecked, I've seen worse. Uh, your friend Gil helping us with the magic certainly has sped things along. Yeah, we managed to repair most of the ship itself. Some of the magical components, well, I have old engineering schematics, and I was able to fix most of the main engine, actually. But there are... we can't quite get the engine working. We can't quite get it in the air just yet. I mean, not that we really want to, while we're still, like, doing the last checks on the hull. That's kind of our full progress report. We don't have a way to power it to get it up into the air, but we have, for the most part, fixed the engine, we believe. We'd have to run tests on it before we can know for sure.
Of course. I mean, still, this is incredible news.
Oh, also, just so you're aware, your dog got bigger, and he points to, Sparky, who is the fire elemental that Jace created for you to power your ship, who, he treated like a big dog, and is now in the form of a dog, made of fire. And Sparky, has actually grown. Last you saw, he was the size of a small puppy, but now he looks like he's somewhere between a small puppy and a fully grown dog.
Absolutely fucking incredible.
Morph!
Morph! will I burn myself if I were to try and pet him?
It would under normal circumstances, because you have Jace's ring, no.
Okay. I want to pet Sparky. Like, I want to give him, like, the biggest of head pats and chin scritches.
He lovingly accepts all the head pats and all the scritches. And
I missed you, Sparky.
Morph! He's not quite right in the dog sound, but he did his best. And again, you'll note that, like, before your ship crashed, he didn't really act like a dog, but ever since then, he just has kind of fully embraced this somehow, as if that's the piece that remained.
I'll accept it. My main thing is I'm happy that Sparky seems to be doing so well.
You know that meme where it's like you can hear the moment when he died inside or whatever it is? You can hear the moment when Taylor read chat. the exact moment where Taylor
Gosh. So anyway, that's kind of our full progress report for now.
You're all doing wonderful. I hope you're not pushing yourselves too hard and you're remembering to take rest.
Oh, no, I'm a capable foreman. I know when to make sure my crew is resting and when they're not. A duty you'll probably have to take over for you. I'll stay in town until we get the engine test started. But then I'm gonna head back to Fogcliff. From what I hear, you guys started a little rebellion there too. Gotta make sure it has someone who can manage that.
I believe in you.
It's a high compliment for someone as graceful as you to gift me that compliment.
I only speak the truth, friend.
You will notice that Ryder is on top of like his house not being rebuilt is also not here.
Say, friend, where is Ryder?
Ryder's been traveling with us, right?
No, Gil and Aaron were traveling with you until you guys got to the boats, and then you've been traveling on your own. Ryder has not been. Ryder has been in town theoretically, but he hasn't been around. You haven't seen him. And at this point.
Okay, I do have. Would he have? Would Priscilla have seen him with all of the new recruits?
No.
Okay.
So, Robin asks you, Ryder, he's the sad-looking rabbit man, right?
Yes. That is an apt description of our dear friend Ryder.
Yeah, he was, he said he was heading, over towards that end of town. He kind of just points in a direction. I saw him going that way. He bought, some cleaning products and some scrub brushes and, oh, he also bought, like some little clippers, you know, like for hedges.
Of course. Say, I know it's not exactly your wheelhouse, but do you think you could maybe, and I'm just gonna gesture to Ryder's poor house.
I mean, I suppose we have some leftover lumber. It shouldn't be too long.
It would mean a great deal to us, but especially to Ryder. I mean, I've already destroyed his pumpkin patch.
Oh yeah, I did notice that the ship was on top of a pumpkin patch.
Yeah.
I found some of the seeds.
Good. Hang on to those. I'm sure he would appreciate having some of the seeds.
I mean, they were roasted, so he kind of points to his mouth.
Yeah. That makes sense. But I feel like a repaired house is the least we could offer him, considering all that he's done for us already.
Yeah. I'll look into it. We should get something. We should be able to get something done anyway.
With the ring that we found and the profits from it, you should be able to get a lot done.
Ooh. Oh yeah, you mentioned that.
I loaded it up on your boat.
Yeah, I did see that. Really, from a giant?
From a giant skeleton?
Oh, I didn't know you guys were strong enough to kill giants, but...
No, we didn't kill the giant. It must have been slain by some great hero long ago.
Huh. I suppose things like that do still exist.
I suppose.
What, heroes?
Ones that can slay giants are certainly a rarity.
Fair enough.
And that's part of why some people are so keen on the Empire. They think it keeps them safe from things like that, but... I mean, come on, we know the score. That's not the reality. But if you wanted to go find him, he was heading that way in town.
Perfect. Thank you. And I'm going to turn to the others. Should we check on Ryder?
I suppose it would be good. I don't have any other business here unless anyone has business with me. Priscilla, do you have anything that you need to do?
No, the sooner we can get back on the road, the better.
It's hard to stay in one place.
The three of you head out to the direction that you were pointed at in. You ask a few other people, and it takes you a few minutes, but eventually you find your way to a small graveyard on the edge of town. The trees here are tall and provide ample shade, their boughs stretching out beautifully. It's a very calm. How do I put this? Oftentimes, cemeteries or graveyards can be very melancholy and very sad, or sometimes kind of spooky or scary. This one feels just calm and still. Peaceful in a way that most places you go to aren't. You don't even really hear bird songs in the air. You see that the gate is maintained, but you find that like as you go further back in the cemetery, the headstones at the front of the cemetery are well cleaned, but as you get further back, it seems whoever's in charge is sloppier and sloppier in terms of maintaining these graves. And as you're passing through these graves, you find that like most people have a headstone that's like, a rounded, oval, simple headstone. It'll have like their family name and such on it, and when they died, and maybe a last quote. Those that were of a particular religion will have the holy symbol of whatever their god is also implanted on this headstone. But as you get to the back, you see that there are headstones with this simple shield-shaped crest built into the top of the headstone. And Priscilla, you would know this just as a matter of course, that headstones with a shield signify soldiers. And as you guys approach, you see Ryder, and he is cleaning these graves near the back, and he's talking out loud as he's kind of trimming off the access branches and plants and using the scrub brushes to clean them off. And you hear him talking to himself. Those Chris and Scully boys, oh, they certainly got your fire, Martha. I honestly didn't know what to think of their whole gym membership thing, but they're doing all right for themselves. And he kind of he turns to another one as he's cleaning, and oh, and little Olivia, she did manage to buy that puppy after all. Yeah, the Rosette family is doing well, Carol.
Ryder,
What?
we came to see you. I figured it would be rude to continue to listen without your knowledge that we were here.
Yeah.
If you'd
yeah,
like us to leave, that would be acceptable request.
No, I'm almost done here. Just need to clean off the captain's grave. And he comes to the last headstone in this row. And he stands looking at it for a few seconds before he kneels down and he takes out his scrub brush. Captain Lance Corporal. That was his name. His actual name was Lance Corporal. Oh, it was We always used to tease him about it. What rank are you again? I was a stubborn young brat when I met him. And as he's kind of cleaning it off, earlier today, I was in town, and I was kind of buying stuff to prepare to come out here, and I did this thing where I took a deep breath and I rolled my shoulders back at the same time, and for the first time I realized that's something he used to do. The same kind of habit. He just would take a deep breath and roll his shoulders back to steel himself. And it made me think about all the other little things. The words, the little habits, the things that you pick up from people. Chris and Scully, they, Martha made the same kind of hilarious joke back in basic training without really knowing it. Come on, thrust harder, and we laughed up a storm. And the darndest thing is they never met her. And it just made me think of how we carry the pieces of the people we care about. Not just in our memories, but in ourselves, too. They become part of us.
Every story that we encounter becomes a part of our own story. And in a way, carrying them with us is a part of their resurrection. Would you mind if I offered a prayer for these?
Go ahead. I don't think the captain would mind. One more thing, though. He takes out a pack of cigarettes, and he places one cigarette on each grave, lighting them all, before pulling out one for himself. It's the anniversary. It's the only day of the year I smoke. And he lights one and shares a cigarette with the ones who came before.
Lana
with his squadron.
Lana will nod and lift her eyes up and just say, light and twilight, O Queen of Phoenixes, grant these people here, by the reach of your power from worlds beyond, the gift of resurrection, not that their bodies may necessarily walk out of their graves, but that their spirits may ascend to an eternal dwelling, fitting for their souls and becoming of their stories, with the light and flame of life warm us all.
Amen to that. And as he kind of takes one more puff of his cigarette, he says, I'll admit it's been hard to carry them, but I also know it's one of the most important things I've ever done, and I won't let them go. Not here. And he points to his heart, and he takes out a few coins, and he leaves a gold piece on the headstone of the captain. He leaves a few more, and then a few more. And Priscilla, it's almost 20 people that
Gold
he
coin for
leaves.
each?
A gold coin for each.
I think Priscilla just sheds a tear, but stays in the back.
I think Ryder, he kind of turns and looks at you and he says, "You carry a piece of them too. Who do you think taught me how to use a shield?" And he points to the gravestone of the captain.
Ah, it all trickles down, doesn't it?
Does. I want to thank you, Priscilla, for letting an old man share the weight of his friends. Let's hope that we'll also share their strength.
I can only hope.
And he puts out a cigarette. He puts the he picks up the buds and puts them in the package to throw them away later. All right. Why don't we head out of here? It's a beautiful day after all.
Yeah.
As we walk just out of the peripheral of Ryder's vision, I'd like to just use dancing lights to illuminate each stone. Each of them, because you can make dancing lights take on a shape. Each of them standing at attention in the way that Ryder did before we arrived, in a way that would be familiar to him. And then they'll just fade.
He acknowledges it and calmly bows his head. But to keep the faith. And he clutches his holy symbol and finds an inner strength within himself. Because while he is carrying the weight of those who came before, he's also carrying their strength too. And that puts a little spring in the little rabbit man's steps. Is there anything any of you would like to do?
I'm probably gonna want to just be alone, checking defenses and doing the checks around the perimeter again.
Roll me a perception check.
Hey, Taylor.
Yes?
I put a question in the chat, but I don't know if you saw it. Do these gravestones have like a date of birth and date of death on them?
Yeah, like most do.
Okay. How long have they been gone? Is this like a fresh
The
thing, or
oldest
like
for sure is definitely the captain, who you would
Okay,
count
but, like-
more than like 80 years ago.
Okay, so it's been a long time that they've been gone.
Yeah, like he mentioned like the grandkids of some of them are adults now. Like
Oh,
he
okay.
knew
I
these
didn't-
people in his 20s 100 years ago.
Okay. Okay. I didn't catch that he said grandkids, so I didn't know how long it had been.
Priscilla, what was your check?
19.
As you're walking out, you see a grave marked with a sword. And that is significant because a grave marked with a downward sword denotes a knight. And knights in the world of Gab and in the context of Gab are people who dedicate themselves to a cause and, well, you know, their cause in and of itself can be good or bad, but there's a code of chivalry that knights shared. It's an old tradition that came out of, you know, because there were knights that were dedicated to different religious orders, there were knights dedicated to particular kings, but being a knight meant something different and distinct than being a soldier. And this particular knight, as you look down at their headstone, you know them. It reads, Sir Philip. Simply. and it has the date of his death. And you know this particular knight because he is the one who helped you escape Hamlin.
I sort of just drop to my knees, and I am just going to sit there and cry. Quiet enough to make sure that I don't draw any attention from anyone else, but very obviously just wanting to be left alone.
You vaguely, even now, you can remember him swimming through the ice-cold river, the breastplate armor freezing against his skin while he wrapped you in his cape, swimming to avoid tipping off the goblin sentries. He swam for miles. He swam for what seemed like forever, freezing in the water. But he kept you above. He kept you safe. And he brought you here. He actually got pulled up out of the water by fishermen who were out late that night.
Lana will take up Priscilla's usual patrol route, and just walk it and watch and do the checks. Not saying anything.
And unless anyone had anything else they wanted to do, I think that would be a great place to end. Anything?
No, that's good with me.
Then I think this is where we will call episode 12 of Myth, Magic, and Might. Good night, everyone.